Sport unites us, transcending boundaries of language, culture, and background. It gives us heroes to cheer for, moments to remember, and a sense of belonging that brings entire cities together. In India, cricket is more than just a game. It's a passion that pulses through the veins of millions. For 18 long years, Royal Challengers Bengaluru fans held on to hope, their hearts set on the elusive dream of IPL glory. Through seasons of heartbreak and near misses, their unwavering support became legendary, a testament to the power of faith and community. Their loyalty, often the subject of jokes and memes, was finally rewarded. The long-awaited victory was not just a win on the field, it was a triumph for every fan who had stood by the team through thick and thin. The city of Bengaluru was ready to erupt in celebration. Streets were awash in red and gold as families, friends, and strangers alike gathered to share in the joy. The victory parade promised to be a historic event, a moment when the city would come together as one. The planned parade route was to be a river of joy, winding through the heart of the city. The team, riding atop an open bus, would present their hard-earned trophy to the adoring masses, a symbol of shared triumph and pride. But as the day unfolded, the sheer scale of the celebration became overwhelming. Nearly 250,000 people poured into the streets, their excitement palpable, but so too was the growing sense of unease. The atmosphere, once electric with anticipation, began to shift. Streets near the stadium, especially around Gate 7, became dangerously congested. The crush of bodies made movement nearly impossible, and the joyous energy started to give way to anxiety. The city's infrastructure, unprepared for such an immense gathering, began to buckle under the strain. Security and crowd control measures were quickly overwhelmed, and the dream of a perfect celebration teetered on the edge of disaster. Suddenly, a surge rippled through the tightly packed crowd. Panic spread in an instant, as people realized they were trapped with nowhere to go. In the chaos, people stumbled and fell, unable to rise in the suffocating crush. Cries for help were drowned out by the noise and confusion. What began as a festival of joy turned, in a matter of moments, into a desperate struggle for survival. Fear and confusion swept through the crowd as people fought to escape the suffocating press. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, doing all they could to help the injured. But the tragedy had already unfolded. 11 people, including a child, lost their lives, and more than 75 were left injured, some with wounds that would never fully heal. The streets that were meant to echo with songs of victory now stood silent, marked by heartbreak and loss. Discarded flags and belongings told the story of a celebration that ended in sorrow. In the days that followed, the city mourned together. Vigils were held, flowers placed at the site of the tragedy, and prayers offered for the victims and their families. The pain was shared by all. This tragedy stands as a stark reminder of how quickly joy can turn to sorrow, and how fragile moments of triumph can be. The city's celebration, meant to unite and uplift, became a devastating calamity that will never be forgotten. This was no freak accident. What unfolded was a tragedy that could have been avoided with the right precautions and planning. It was a disaster born of systemic failures, where every weak link in the chain contributed to the chaos. The parade was scheduled just a day after the final, leaving authorities and organizers scrambling with almost no time to prepare or coordinate a safe event. The chosen parade route wound through narrow streets, which were never designed to handle such massive crowds. Poor route planning created dangerous bottlenecks, especially near Gate 7, where the flow of people became nearly impossible to manage. To make matters worse, rumors of free tickets spread quickly, drawing thousands more to already packed areas, overwhelming the limited space and resources. There was no clear communication from officials, no visible signage, and no designated safe zones for people to gather. Security teams were stretched thin and visibly overwhelmed. In a desperate attempt to regain control, police resorted to a mild baton charge, but this only fueled panic and confusion, causing the crowd to surge unpredictably. Basic crowd control principles, like maintaining flow, preventing bottlenecks, and using de-escalation tactics, were completely missing. Organizers severely underestimated the turnout and the risks involved. They failed to implement robust safety protocols, leaving staff poorly equipped and checkpoints inadequate for the scale of the event. The tragedy was not caused by the passion of the fans, who simply wanted to celebrate their team's victory, but by a lack of planning, foresight, and a failure to anticipate the consequences of every decision made that day. In the end, it was a preventable failure at every level, a stark reminder of what happens when safety is treated as an afterthought. The cricketing world was united in grief. Sunil Gavaskar noted that years of pent-up hope made this celebration uniquely intense. He stressed that organizers should have anticipated the emotional energy and planned accordingly. Other cricket legends echoed the need for fan safety to be paramount. They pointed to past parades managed safely with meticulous planning. The consensus: this tragedy must be a turning point for Indian sport. The heartbreak in Bengaluru is a lesson for the entire sporting community. Social media erupted with grief and demands for accountability. Fans rejected any blame for their passion, directing anger at organizers for negligence. First-hand accounts described chaos, lack of exits, and absent event staff. The hashtag Bangalore tragedy trended, amplifying calls for change. Experts dissected the failures: rushed scheduling, poor route, lack of coordination. Fans organized online, demanding answers and concrete reforms. They called on RCB, KSCA, and BCCI to ensure this never happens again. Rebuilding trust will require real action, not just words. The focus quickly shifted to accountability. Police filed an FIR against RCB, KSCA, and the event management company for culpable homicide. A magisterial inquiry was launched to deliver answers within 2 weeks. KSCA officials resigned, acknowledging moral responsibility. BCCI condemned the incident, stressing the need for new safety norms. The board clarified it wasn't directly involved, but promised to work with franchises on future protocols. The tragedy exposed a dangerous regulatory gap. Now the push is on for clear, enforceable safety standards. Justice for the victims demands nothing less. RCB faced the challenge of addressing the human cost and rebuilding trust. The franchise pledged 10 lakh rupees to each victim's family and launched the RCB Cares Fund for the injured. This was a step toward acknowledging loss and supporting recovery. BCCI announced plans for standardized safety protocols for all future celebrations. These actions, compensation, support funds, and regulatory reform, are just the beginning. The pain and anger will linger, but real change must follow. Rebuilding the bond with fans will require more than victories. It demands a true commitment to safety. The future of RCB's relationship with its community depends on it. The Bengaluru tragedy is a wake-up call for Indian sport. It has forced us to confront the uncomfortable truth that our celebrations, meant to unite and uplift, can turn tragic if safety is neglected. The heartbreak felt by families and fans across the country must not be in vain. Safety must be the foundation of every celebration, not an afterthought. Every event, no matter how big or small, must prioritize the well-being of its attendees from the very beginning of planning to the final whistle. Crowd management needs to be scientific. Risk assessments, clear routes, trained staff, and real-time communication. Technology can play a vital role, from digital ticketing to crowd monitoring, ensuring that every fan's journey is safe and enjoyable. Fans too must be vigilant and look out for one another. A sense of shared responsibility can make a real difference, as every individual's actions contribute to the safety of the whole crowd. The culture of pushing for a better view must give way to a culture of safety. Respecting boundaries and following instructions is not just about discipline, it's about protecting lives. This tragedy must lead to a new national standard for public event safety. Policies must be updated and enforcement must be strict so that such incidents are never repeated. Cricket boards, franchises, and authorities must collaborate on a comprehensive framework. Only through teamwork and transparency can we create an environment where fans can celebrate without fear. The joy of victory should never come at the cost of human life. True celebration is only possible when everyone returns home safely, with memories of happiness, not sorrow. We owe it to the victims to ensure no fan ever pays the ultimate price for their passion again. Let us honor their memory by building a safer, more caring future for every supporter of Indian sport.